This town in America disappeared overnight. As of 2023, there are about 328,000 cities and towns in the United States. And while most people think they know where all of them are, the reality is that the majority of Americans could unpick out half of these towns on a map if their lives depended on it. One of these places could be the subject of today's video. When we talk about abandoned towns, we usually focus on those that were abandoned due to a natural disaster, nuclear accident, or some kind of corporate conspiracy. But sometimes towns simply run out of things to say, and without anything to keep them together, they fade away, leaving behind nothing but memories and maybe a few old buildings. This is one such story. Welcome to our channel. Today we'll explore the story of an American town that was once home to thousands of people, but now stands abandoned with its streets empty and its houses reduced to rubble. You won't believe what happened here, so make sure to stay until the end of the video. We assure you that you won't want to miss this one. It all began in the 19th century when settlers first arrived in the area. The town was officially founded on September 7, 1864, and named after General James Shields, a Civil War general from Illinois. At its peak in the early 1900s, the town had a population of around 2,500 people. There was a hospital, multiple schools, a post office, and plenty of shops and businesses to serve the needs of the community. Most of the men worked as miners, extracting valuable minerals from the nearby hills. Women worked as teachers, shopkeepers, and domestic servants. Life was good, and the future looked bright for the town, but then everything changed. In the late 1940s, the nearby mine, which had been the backbone of the local economy, began to falter. As the mineral deposits played out, fewer and fewer jobs were available, and the town's population started to dwindle. People began to leave Shields Valley in search of better opportunities elsewhere. Those who stayed behind watched as their town slowly fell into disrepair. The buildings became dilapidated, and the streets were abandoned. By the 1970s, Shields Valley was a shadow of its former self. There were only a handful of residents left, and most of the town's infrastructure had crumbled. Then came the final blow. On April 21, 1985, the Shields Valley School District was dissolved, leaving the town without its last remaining institution. With no school, no jobs, and no hope for the future, the remaining residents packed up and left Shields Valley, became a ghost town. Today, Shields Valley is just a memory. Its streets are empty and its houses are crumbling. But the story of this abandoned town is more than just a tale of economic decline. It's a reminder of the fragility of life in the face of natural disasters. Shields was not the only settlement in the United States to suffer this fate. Throughout the country, there are countless other towns that have been abandoned due to earthquakes, floods, droughts, and other natural disasters. These towns are like snapshots in time, frozen moments in history that remind us of the power of nature. They're also a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Even when faced with the worst that nature can throw at us, we always seem to find a way to rebuild and move on. In Shields' case, it wasn't a natural disaster that caused its downfall, but a gradual decline in population that led to the closure of the town's school. Nonetheless, the town's abandonment offers us a valuable lesson. In today's world, it's easy to take our prosperity for granted. But the story of Shields reminds us that even the most prosperous towns can fall on hard times. We should appreciate the prosperity we enjoy while it lasts, and be prepared to adapt when times change. As we reflect on the story of Shields, let's also remember the people who once called this town home. The men who worked in the mines, the women who taught in the schools, children who played in the streets, they all deserve our respect and admiration. They built this town and made it thrive. And even though it's now abandoned, their legacy lives on in the stories that we tell about it. The state of Montana has done a great job preserving the history of Shields. Today, the town is a state-designated historic site, and visitors from around the world come to explore its abandoned streets and buildings. The town cemetery is still well maintained, and the headstones bear silent testimony to the lives that were lived here. In fact, Shields is considered to be one of the best preserved ghost towns in Montana. The buildings are in surprisingly good condition, and many of them still stand several stories tall. This makes Shields a popular destination for photographers and history buffs alike. But while Shields may be a popular tourist destination today, it wasn't always this way. For many years after the town was abandoned, it was simply left to decay. The buildings were vandalized, the streets were littered, and the town cemetery was neglected. However, in recent years, the state of Montana has invested in restoring Shields to its former glory. The buildings have been cleaned up, the streets have been repaired, and the cemetery is now well maintained. Thanks to these efforts, Shields is now one of the most popular ghost towns in Montana. Visitors from around the world come to explore its abandoned streets and buildings. One of the most popular spots in Shields is the town's main street. Here, visitors can stroll down the sidewalks and admire the well-preserved buildings. Many of these buildings date back to the early 1900s, and they some of the best examples of frontier architecture in the country. Another popular spot in Shields is the town's cemetery. Here, visitors can pay their respects to the town's former residents and learn about their lives and deaths. The cemetery is also a great spot for photography enthusiasts. The weathered headstones and the surrounding mountains make for a truly picturesque setting. In addition to exploring the town's buildings and cemetery, visitors to Shields can also learn about the town's history at the Shields Museum. The museum is located in a former jail, and it features exhibits on the town's founding, its mining history, and its eventual demise. For those looking to visit Shields, there are a few things to keep in mind. The town is located in western Montana, about 30 minutes east of the Idaho border. The nearest major city is Missoula, Montana, which is about an hour away. Shields is open to the public year-round, but the best time to visit is during the summer months, when the weather is warmer and the days are longer. Visitors should also be aware that Shields is not a modern town. There are no running water or electricity, so visitors should come prepared. Finally, visitors should respect the town's history and heritage. Shields is a sacred place for many Native Americans, and visitors should be respectful when visiting the town cemetery. Overall, Shields is a fascinating town with a rich history. It's a place where visitors can experience life in the Old West and learn about one of Montana's most unique communities. If you're looking for an authentic Western adventure, look no further than Shields, Montana. The town's population had been declining for several years, and by the 1970s, it was clear that the town was in trouble. The remaining residents voted to dissolve the school district, and the town's last remaining institution was gone. Without a school, there was no reason for the town to continue existing, and the residents packed up and left. Today, Shields is a ghost town. The buildings are abandoned, and the streets are empty. But the town's history is still alive and well. Visitors from around the world come to explore Shields and learn about its unique history. We hope you enjoyed learning about this abandoned town in America. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss an upload. We also have a podcast that you can listen to anywhere. Just search for our channel on your favorite podcast player. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.